A long time ago, there once lived a king whose wisdom and knowledge were vast. Oh, that's right. And nothing remained that was unknown to him, for it was though the wild birds that played on the wind would speak to him clearly, and above all their din, he'd capture their gossip and court flabbergast. He'd daily his court flabbergast. Flabbergast! That's right. One day the queen, dressing in her fine boudoir, discovered her blue sapphire ring was stolen. Oh! And all of her jewels left askew. She blamed all her servants, her chambermaid too, and if we had been there, she would have blamed you. She roared, "Ask the man who knows everything! Ask the king who knows everything!" She talked funny, she did. The king viewed the scene, and he ummed and he ahed, though his wisdom and knowledge were vast. And he scratched at his head, and he fingered his chin. For though nothing long remained unknown to him, he couldn't quite say right away of the ring. At this poor admission, the queen was aghast. The queen and the court were aghast. Aghast! What does that mean? Well, they were shocked. That evening, the queen, in a rage of despair, told the king he must sleep in the woods. Oh. So the king obeyed meekly and carried his bed and slept on his own in the old woodman's shed and called to the owls, and to them he begged, "Please tell me who stole the queen's ring. Sing and tell me, please, who stole the ring." Then fluttering around him, the owls gathered close and screeched and twit-twooed as they sang. The king listened closely, and above all their din, the truth came to light as to who stole the ring, and thanking them kindly, the sleepy old king said, "Tomorrow that burglar shall hang, shall hang. Tomorrow that burglar shall hang." He's very silly voice too. Yeah, well, it was a bit strange, wasn't it? Yeah. Bright and early next morning, the king returned home, and asking the queen for a truce, he ordered the court to assemble to him. The dukes and the duchesses came gliding in, surrounded by viscounts and lords piddling. "The thief of the queen was the goose, the goose. The thief of the queen is the goose." The goose! We knew it was. All right then. The goose was then brought under guard to the court, and the king through his monocle peered. "Return the queen's ring, or you will be flung out into the courtyard where your neck will be wrung, and then, naughty goose, you will slowly be hung." And the court at the bad goose they jeered, and the court for the king they all cheered. "Please, sir," quacked the goose, in a wee frightened voice, "'twas by chance I took the queen's ring. I was hunting for food and found by her bed a box of sweet chocolates, and on them I fed. And as each was wrapped prettily, must instead have swallowed her sapphire ring, her ring so unappetizing. Poor goosey." Yes, Duncan. "Good Lord," cried the queen, "you poor silly goose. Now tell us, pray, where's now my ring?" "My queen," hushed the goose, "it's stuck in me throat. I swallowed it whole and move it just won't, and it is so heavy I could not keep her afloat." And this the queen found upsetting. Yes, this the queen found upsetting. "You sure you would, wouldn't you?" The queen thought for the moment and looked at the goose, and then with a triumphant tone she said, "Please don't worry, you poor little thing, for we have a ruler who knows everything, and he'll know the answer, so let's ask the king, and soon our dilemma is done, is gone, and soon our dilemma is done." The king knows the answer. The king looked quite puzzled and stared round the court, and all of the court stared at him. Though in truth he was wise, he wasn't that bright, which is why he would ask wild birds every night the answers to questions, so he'd know he'd be right whenever the court and the queen questioned him, whenever the queen questioned him. That's right. But seeing the fear on the goose's sad face, and the queen's belief in his brains, the king took a pause and said with some ease, "To dislodge the ring, we must make the goose sneeze." So they sprinkled black pepper upon the goose knees, and the goose sneezed, "Achoo! Achoo!" with a fling, and he caught the queen's ring on his wing.